A quiet morning at St. Gabriel's Hospital. The lobby shines with marble floors. Nurses move briskly, and patients in tailored suits sit waiting for their checkups. In the middle of this polished scene walks a man, dressed in a simple shirt, slightly wrinkled pants, and worn-out shoes. His hair is a little messy, his presence calm, almost invisible. That man is Keanu Reeves, but no one notices him as a star, not here. Not today. He walks toward the reception desk, politely asking for his appointment. The receptionist checks the list, nods, and directs him toward the waiting area. Keanu thanks her softly and takes a seat. No fuss, no ego, just humility. But in that same moment, a doctor, tall and proud in his spotless white coat, notices him. His name, Dr. Richard Halloway. Known for his arrogance and infamous for the way he divides patients, those who look rich and those who don't. His eyes scan Keanu from head to toe, and a smirk curls across his lips. In his mind, Keanu is just another nobody trying to get treatment at a hospital meant for the elite. Walking past the reception, Dr. Halloway leans over and whispers just loud enough for others to hear. Strange how some people wander into places they can't afford. A couple of patients glance up. A nurse frowns. Keanu. He simply smiles, as if the words don't even touch him. He returns to his seat, hands folded, eyes steady, waiting patiently. But Dr. Halloway isn't done. He approaches Keanu directly, his tone dripping with condescension. You do realize, don't you, that this hospital isn't some free clinic? We deal with serious people here, people who can pay. The waiting room falls quiet. The air thickens. Some patients exchange uneasy looks. A child tugs on his mother's hand, sensing something isn't right. Keanu's eyes remain calm, almost serene. He doesn't argue. He doesn't raise his voice. He simply nods, as if the insult doesn't belong to him, but to the one who spoke it. And yet, behind that calm smile hides a truth the arrogant doctor cannot even imagine. A truth that, once revealed, will turn this hospital upside down. Keanu Reeves sits silently in the corner of the waiting area, a simple figure in a place that celebrates power, money, and appearances. Around him, men in tailored suits scroll through expensive phones. Women in elegant dresses whisper softly while sipping bottled mineral water served by the staff. Every detail of this hospital screams wealth and exclusivity, and yet Keanu sits humbly, like an ordinary man. Almost invisible, but not to Dr. Richard Halloway. From behind the counter, the doctor throws occasional glances at Keanu, each one filled with silent judgment. His thoughts echo through his arrogance. This man doesn't belong here. Look at his shoes. Look at his clothes. Probably some charity case hoping to get in without paying. The receptionist calls out the next patient. A businessman in a three-piece suit walks past Keanu and heads into the doctor's office. Then another patient, a woman with designer jewelry, follows after. Keanu remains waiting and waiting. 10 minutes turn into 30. 30 into nearly an hour. Every time Keanu's name comes close to being called, Dr. Halloway waves it off, signaling to the staff, "Later, push him back. These VIPs come first." Nurses exchange uncomfortable glances. They know this isn't right. A hospital is supposed to treat every patient equally. But who dares to argue with Dr. Halloway? The man who controls the schedules, the man whose word feels like law in these marble halls. Finally, one of the younger nurses whispers to her colleague, glancing at Keanu, "Doesn't he look familiar? I swear I've seen him before. On TV, maybe?" Her colleague shakes her head nervously. Better not say anything. Dr. Halloway won't like it if we pay attention to him. Meanwhile, Keanu sits with the same gentle composure. His eyes wander to a child sitting across the room with her mother. The girl looks frightened, clutching her toy bear as she waits for her turn. Keanu offers her a small, warm smile. The girl relaxes, hugging her bear tighter, as if his calmness has given her comfort. This silent kindness doesn't go unnoticed. The mother whispers softly, "Thank you," though no words were exchanged, but the doctor notices too. And it irritates him. Arrogance swells in Dr. Halloway's chest. He steps out of his office, looking directly at Keanu, raising his voice so others can hear. "You still here? Honestly, sir, people with limited means should go to the public clinic down the street. This is not the place for you." The waiting room stiffens. Gasps ripple through the air. Even the wealthy patients shift uncomfortably. No one expected such open humiliation. Keanu doesn't flinch. His calmness only grows deeper, like an ocean untouched by storm. He simply lowers his gaze, folds his hands again, and waits. This reaction baffles the room. Most people would argue back, defend themselves, maybe even storm out. But this man, this quiet man, remains serene, as if he knows something they don't. The whispers grow louder now. Why is he so calm? Why doesn't he say anything? Who is he really? Dr. Holloway smirks, mistaking silence for weakness. In his arrogance, he believes he has won, that he has put the outsider in his place. But what he doesn't know, what no one in that room knows, is that Keanu's silence is not weakness. It is strength. It is patience. It is the calm before a storm that will soon shake the very walls of this hospital. And when that storm arrives, Dr. Holloway will regret every second of this waiting game. The heavy wooden door of Dr. Holloway's office creaks open. "Next," he barks, his tone sharp, clipped, dismissive. Finally, after nearly 2 hours of waiting, the receptionist calls Keanu's name. A few heads turn. Some of the other patients are surprised he lasted this long without complaining. Keanu rises slowly, offering a small nod of gratitude to the receptionist, and steps toward the office. Inside, the room gleams with polished shelves lined with medical books, framed degrees, and a giant mahogany desk. Dr. Richard Holloway sits, like a king on his throne, his stethoscope draped around his neck like a crown. He doesn't look up when Keanu enters. Instead, he flips through a folder, sighing loudly. After a long pause, he finally glances up, eyes scanning Keanu with disdain. "Sit," he orders, not even using his name. Keanu takes the chair quietly. His posture is calm, respectful. The doctor leans back, smirking. "So tell me, why exactly are you here? Routine checkup? Or did you just wander in because you thought the lobby looked comfortable?" A faint chuckle escapes his lips, but it's not one of humor. It's one of mockery. Keanu answers softly, his voice steady. "I had an appointment booked for today, just a general consultation." The doctor raises an eyebrow. "Appointment? With me? Do you even understand how expensive my time is? People wait weeks to see me. And you—" He gestures dismissively at Keanu's clothes. "You look like you walked in from the street." The words cut through the air, like a knife. The nurses standing by the door exchange uneasy glances. One of them lowers her eyes, ashamed for her superior. But Keanu? He doesn't flinch. He simply nods as though acknowledging the storm without being swept into it. This calmness infuriates Dr. Holloway even more. He slams the folder shut. "Do you realize, Mr. Reeves, is it? Do you realize how much this hospital costs to run? How much people pay for the privilege of sitting in that waiting room? You think you can just stroll in here, dressed like that, and waste my time?" The volume of his voice rises. Patients in the hallway begin to gather near the door, whispering. The humiliation is no longer private. It's public. Keanu sits silently, his expression unchanged. The calmness in his eyes feels almost otherworldly, unsettling those who watch. A bold patient in the hallway mutters under his breath, "Why is he treating him like that? Doesn't look right." Another whispers, "That man's face. I swear I've seen it before." But Dr. Holloway presses on, louder, sharper. "This hospital is not a shelter. It's not a charity. It is a sanctuary of excellence for people who belong here. You belong somewhere else." Silence falls. The words hang heavy in the air. Keanu finally lifts his eyes, his voice calm but piercing. "And where exactly is somewhere else, doctor? Somewhere dignity is less expensive." The question slices deeper than any insult. For the first time, the doctor falters. His smirk wavers, But arrogance is a mask hard to remove. He quickly straightens his coat, pretending control. You're twisting words. The truth is, people like you lower the standard of this institution. This hospital was built for the best, for the powerful, for the worthy. Keanu tilts his head slightly, studying him, as though he sees through the mask of pride. And who decides who is worthy, Doctor? You? Their clothes? Their bank accounts? The nurses freeze. The patients lean closer to hear. A shift is happening, one man's quiet strength pushing against another's towering ego. Dr. Holloway slams his hand on the desk, voice booming. I decide. That's the difference between a man like me and a man like you. The room gasps. The arrogance is exposed fully now. Even those who admired the doctor begin to look at him differently. Keanu sits back, silent again. His calmness is not surrender. It is a mirror, showing the doctor what he truly is. And then, the sound of footsteps approaches, heavy, deliberate. The door opens. The hospital's director steps inside. His eyes immediately lock onto Keanu. His expression changes from routine professionalism to shock, to respect. Mr. Reeves, the director says, voice trembling with recognition. What an honor to have you here. The room falls into stunned silence. Dr. Holloway's face drains of color. The nurse's eyes widen. Patients whisper in disbelief. The man he mocked, the man he humiliated, the man he dismissed as unworthy, was the very person who held the power to redefine everything. The director's words echo through the silent office like thunder. Mr. Reeves, what an honor to have you here. For a moment, no one breathes. Nurses glance at one another, unsure if they heard correctly. Patients in the hallway step closer, pressing against the doorframe, their curiosity burning. Even the ticking clock on the wall seems louder, stretching every second into eternity. And then eyes turn to Dr. Richard Holloway. The arrogance in his posture melts. His jaw tightens, his throat bobs as he swallows hard. His once confident smirk has vanished, replaced by something rare for him, fear. Keanu Reeves remains seated, calm as ever. His hands rest loosely on his knees, his posture relaxed, his gaze steady. He doesn't gloat, doesn't smirk, doesn't even blink. The silence he carries is heavier than the doctor's loudest insult. The director hurries forward, shaking Keanu's hand with both of his. I wish you'd told us you were coming today. We would have prepared. The hospital staff would have been honored to receive you properly. Gasps ripple through the hallway. Whispers fly like sparks. Did he say Reeves? Is he talking about that Keanu Reeves? Wait, honored? What does he mean by that? The doctor stammers, voice trembling. Sir, I didn't realize. The director cuts him off sharply, his tone shifting from respect to anger. Didn't realize? This is one of the hospital's principal benefactors. Without Mr. Reeves's contribution, half the facilities you work in wouldn't even exist. The room erupts with shock. Nurses stare in disbelief. The receptionist clasps her mouth. Patients lean in, eyes wide as the truth unfolds. Dr. Holloway, the man who prided himself on judging worth by appearance, has just humiliated the very man who owns the hospital he worships. Keanu finally speaks, his voice soft but carrying more weight than a shout. Doctor, do you know why I came here today? The doctor fumbles, his words breaking. For a checkup, sir. Keanu shakes his head slowly. No, I came unannounced because I wanted to see the hospital, not the building, not the walls, not the equipment. I wanted to see its heart, and the heart of a hospital is its people. His words settle over the room like a blanket of truth. Nurses bow their heads, some fighting tears. Even the wealthy patients, who moments ago sat smugly, now shift uncomfortably in their chairs. Keanu leans forward slightly, his calm gaze fixed on Dr. Holloway. And what did I see today? I saw patients treated like numbers. I saw nurses afraid to speak. And I saw a doctor who believed dignity was something only the rich could afford. Dr. Holloway's lips part, but no sound escapes. His world, the empire of arrogance he built, crumbles silently around him. The director lowers his head, ashamed. Mr. Reeves, I'm so sorry. This behavior does not reflect the values of our hospital. But Keanu raises a hand gently, stopping him. This isn't about apologies. This is about truth. Because if this is how you treat me, the man you don't recognize, how do you treat the ones you believe will never be recognized? The words strike harder than any punishment. Nurses nod quietly. Patients murmur in agreement. The weight of injustice is undeniable now. For the first time in his career, Dr. Holloway stands speechless. His hands tremble, his shoulders slump. He is exposed, not just to Keanu, but to everyone watching. Keanu rises slowly from his chair. His movement is unhurried, yet every eye follows him. He takes a step closer to the doctor, not in anger, but in a calm strength that feels unshakable. You told me this hospital was not for people like me, Keanu says softly. But let me tell you what I believe. Hospitals are not temples for the powerful. They are sanctuaries for the broken, the sick, the scared. For anyone who walks through those doors, his voice grows firmer. Care is not a privilege. It is a right. And respect should never be bought. The words hang in the air, heavy and undeniable. Silence follows. No one dares to move. No one dares to speak. Even the doctor's arrogance has no shield left. His eyes flicker with regret, his body trembling, as though every insult he threw has returned to him. Multiplied, Keanu's calm gaze lingers on him for just a moment longer, then shifts to the room beyond, to the nurses, the patients, the staff who have witnessed everything, and with a voice steady as stone, he delivers the line that will be remembered long after this day is over. No one should ever need to prove who they are, to be treated with dignity. The room erupts, not in applause, but in silence deeper than any sound. Because sometimes the loudest lesson is spoken in the calmest voice. The silence after Keanu's words feels almost holy. No one should ever need to prove who they are, to be treated with dignity. Those words hang in the air, vibrating through every corner of the hospital wing. Even the beeping monitors in nearby rooms seem to pause, as though the building itself is listening. The director bows his head in shame. Nurses shift uncomfortably, their eyes brimming with tears. Patients lean closer, whispering in disbelief. And Dr. Richard Holloway? He stands frozen, his arrogance stripped bare, his pride crumbling. The man who once spoke with authority now looks like a child caught in his worst mistake. His lips tremble, but he cannot form words. The director clears his throat, his voice firm but respectful. Everyone should know, Mr. Reeves is not just any visitor. He is one of the founding benefactors of this hospital. His contributions built the very wings we stand in today. The children's ward, the research labs. His support made them possible. The charity program that treats patients who cannot afford it. That was his idea. And his funding. Gasps erupt from the crowd. Patients who once sat in silence now whisper louder. That man? The one sitting so quietly. He owns all this? The nurses exchange glances, suddenly piecing it together. The kindness in his eyes, the calm patience. The reason he never once defended himself, Keanu Reeves, the man mocked for his clothes, is the very person who gave this hospital its soul. Dr. Holloway stumbles back, his face pale. His voice cracks. Mr. Reeves, I didn't know. Please understand, I never meant... But Keanu raises a hand gently, silencing him without anger, without force. His calm presence is enough. You didn't need to know who I was, Keanu replies softly. You only needed to know who you were speaking to, a fellow human being. The words pierce deeper than any reprimand. The audience feels the sting too, as though Keanu's lesson isn't just for the doctor, but for everyone watching. The director turns sharply to Holloway, his voice filled with controlled fury. Dr. Holloway, your behavior is disgraceful. You have insulted a man whose generosity has saved countless lives. But more than that, you have violated the very oath you swore as a doctor. To heal, to respect, to protect. The doctor's knees nearly buckle. He grips the edge of his desk to steady himself. The weight of his own hypocrisy presses down like a mountain. Keanu steps forward, not with anger, but with a quiet dignity that silences even the murmurs outside. "Doctor," he says, voice steady, "one day a patient will walk through those doors who has nothing. No money, no fame, no power. They will look to you for compassion. What will you give them then? Disrespect or healing?" Dr. Holloway's eyes glisten with shame. His voice breaks. I was wrong." The entire room hears it, the confession of a man who thought himself untouchable. Keanu does not smile, nor does he gloat. Instead, he turns slightly, addressing the nurses, the patients, the staff standing frozen in the doorway. "This hospital is not defined by its walls or by its machines. It is defined by its people, by how we treat those who need us most. If we fail in that, then we fail in everything." The words ripple outward, landing heavy in every heart present. The young nurse, who whispered earlier, wipes a tear from her cheek. The mother, with the frightened child, holds her daughter tighter, silently grateful for the lesson her child just witnessed. Even the wealthy patients, once smug in their seats, bow their heads, realizing their silence made them complicit. The director nods firmly, his respect for Keanu evident. "Your words will not be forgotten, Mr. Reeves. They will be remembered as a standard for this institution." Dr. Holloway sinks into his chair, his once proud posture collapsed. For the first time in years, he looks smaller, humbled, exposed. His power has evaporated in the presence of truth. Keanu places a gentle hand on the desk, his calm eyes meeting the doctor's. "Change, doctor. Not for me, not for this hospital, for yourself. Because every life you touch carries the weight of your choice." With that, Keanu steps back, turning toward the door. His movements are simple, unhurried, but the weight of his presence is overwhelming. The crowd parts as he walks past, every face lowered in respect. No applause, no cheers, just silence, the kind of silence reserved for moments too powerful to disturb. And as Keanu Reeves exits the office, one truth settles in every soul present. Titles fade, money fades, but the way we treat others, that is what remains. The night settles heavy over St. Gabriel's Hospital. Most of the patients have retired to their rooms. The hallways quiet except for the hum of machines and the soft footsteps of nurses. But inside the staff conference room, every doctor, nurse, and administrator sits in silence. At the head of the room stands Keanu Reeves, not as a celebrity, not as a benefactor, but as a man who carries with him the weight of kindness and the power of truth. He looks around, his gaze calm but piercing, meeting the eyes of each staff member. Some shift nervously in their seats, others bow their heads, reflecting on the spectacle they witnessed earlier. Dr. Richard Holloway sits near the back, shoulders slumped, shame etched deep into his face. Keanu begins, his voice soft, yet commanding enough that no one dares to interrupt. "We all make mistakes. I've made my share. But what matters is what we choose to do after those mistakes." He pauses, letting the words settle. The room is so quiet. Even the flicker of the overhead lights seems loud. "Earlier today," he continues, "we saw something painful. We saw judgment. We saw arrogance. But beneath that, we also saw an opportunity. A reminder of why this hospital exists." His hand brushes the table gently, as though grounding his words in the room itself. This place was not built to shine with marble floors or glass windows. It was built to heal. It was built to give hope to people who walk through those doors, carrying more pain than pride. Whether they come dressed in silk or rags, whether they arrive in a limousine or on foot, it should not matter. What should matter is their humanity. A nurse in the corner wipes her eyes. Another staff member nods slowly, visibly moved. Keanu turns toward the group of younger doctors seated together. His tone sharpens, but only slightly. "You are the future of this institution. Ask yourselves, when a frightened patient sits across from you, will you see a wallet? Or will you see a life? Because one choice makes you wealthy, the other makes you worthy." The words strike hard. Some lower their gaze, unable to hold his eyes. Others sit taller, inspired, as though a fire has been lit inside them. Finally, Keanu's gaze settles on Dr. Holloway. The doctor, once so proud, cannot even lift his head. The weight of his own actions presses him down like chains. Keanu steps closer, his voice steady but not cruel. Doctor, I don't ask for your resignation. I don't ask for your humiliation. What I ask for is your change. Because if you cannot learn to see the value in every soul, then every degree, every award, every title you hold means nothing. The doctor's eyes glisten. For the first time in his career, he feels exposed, not by ridicule, but by truth. His voice breaks as he finally whispers, I understand. I swear I will do better, not because of who you are, but because of who I failed to be. Keanu nods gently, a faint smile tugging at his lips. That's the beginning. Remember, change is not in words. It's in action. He steps back, addressing the entire room once more. Compassion is not a luxury. It is not optional. It is the heartbeat of medicine, of healing, of humanity itself. If you forget that, you forget everything. The silence in the room feels different now, heavier but also brighter, as if every heart carries a flicker of light. With that, Keanu gives a final nod and steps toward the door. His figure is calm, his pace unhurried, yet his presence fills every corner of the room. No applause follows, no cheer breaks the silence, only respect. As he exits into the night, the city lights glow against the hospital windows. He pauses on the sidewalk, glancing back once at the building he helped create. A small smile touches his face, not of pride, but of peace, for he knows the lesson has been planted. And just like healing, kindness spreads slowly, quietly, but powerfully. And as he walks into the night, one truth lingers in the hearts of everyone who witnessed that evening. True greatness is not measured by what you own, but by how you treat those who have nothing.